My name is Jody, and I just retired from my super important yet super boring corporate job where I explain complex things to the C-suite executives in 5 minutes or less to get them to actually make decisions and do something. I will now take these corporate superpowers and do deep dives into current events and help to answer the obvious questions. And this is my podcast. Hello, fellow truth seekers. I follow pop culture and true crime, and so I listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot of times my content comes from current topics as well as topics I'm a subject matter expert on. And today is like when those two wacky kids collided in that commercial and the chocolate went into the peanut butter and we received the gift known as the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So thank you to the Bravo Docket and Emily D. Baker. And if you do not know these ladies, well, you need to check them out because they are seriously smart attorneys. We have been kind of talking about what not to do in various situations in the corporate world, and today's life lesson is very similar. The obvious question today is, can you go too far in trying to clear your name that you actually make it worse? We will start with my guilty pleasure. Okay, I don't drink much, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs, but I do love my Bravo. There is nothing better than seeing a group of people pretend to be something most of them are not, feign outrage, fight, make up, rinse, and repeat. So let's start with our first participant today, Rachel Leviss. She was a minor player on the Bravo show Vanderpump Rules, who got into a major scandal by having an affair with co-worker Tom Sandoval, who is in a long-term relationship with Ariana Madix, another person on the show. Ariana found out about the 7-month affair when her boyfriend Sandoval and his band were playing rather badly at a restaurant featured on the show called Tom Tom. Yes, Sandoval is one of the Toms in Tom Tom. And she was handed his phone when he dropped it, and something made her decide to open it, and she found a video of a FaceTime recording with Rachel doing some personal entertaining, and upstanding citizen Tom Sandoval recorded it without telling her and then saved it on his phone. Probably not very smart. Yes, he really is truly that dumb. After this broke, they pulled cameras back up and allowed the cast to verbally abuse Tom and Raquel as she was going by then. After filming, Raquel went into a mental health facility. Tom took his band on the road and people screamed obscenities at him and basically threw anything they could at him, but he made money so he didn't really care. Ariana got some great opportunities and became the female version of Rumpelstiltskin and Midas, and went from kind of a major minor reality star to a goddess on Broadway, a reality host, commercials, and a great sandwich shop. I mean, she won the life lottery after all of this crap. Okay, so let's go back to career ruining after we talked about Ariana doing so well. So Raquel gets out of the clinic and decides not to go back on Vanderpump Rules, not because it was bad for her mental health, but because they wouldn't pay her more. But then her and her mom call ex-housewife and founder of Skinny Girl and the gal who got a wild hair to do the reality reckoning with a bullseye on Bravo, known as Bethany Frankel. Let's understand this. Reality TV is toxic. And if you're a normal person, you rarely do well on it because, well, it's toxic. Unless your name is Ariana Madix. She's like one of the few. Normal people do not make good television. Narcissistic, ego-driven people, Tom Sandoval, also live in the comment section, despite having over $100,000 in therapy, Raquel wants to tell her truth. And she does it on Bethany's podcast for no money and then gets her own gig where she starts a podcast. And it's called Rachel Goes Rogue because she's decided to change her name back from Raquel to Rachel, which is her original name. I mean, I don't really understand it, but she's decided to go rogue. So wait for it. She goes and starts a podcast, and all she does is talk about the people on Vanderpump Rules. Okay, so while I will give you a short window, as I've mentioned in these other episodes regarding like Harry and Meghan, aka most of the most privileged, entitled Nepo babies on the history of the world, Rachel decides to make a career of her failures and people being mean to her. Let's not forget, she became famous because she slept with a close friend's boyfriend while filming a reality show and did it while they were filming. But it gets better. Then she sues Tom for eavesdropping, and I'm actually okay with that because it was really nasty that he, recorded it without telling her. But no, then she sues Ariana as well because she took a recording of the video and sent it to old Rocky Bang Bang. Shout out to Just Plain Zach. I also listen to his podcast. And now Rachel is suing her for revenge form. And the worst part is she can't stop talking about being a victim. Rachel, honey, you are a victim of your own stupidity. Speaking of stupidity, let's go to our second offender. She's someone we discussed before, Kari Morrissey. Kari was a prosecutor for the Rust trials in which Alec Baldwin was handed a gun with live bullets by the armor Hannah Gutierrez-Reed and then pointed it to people during a blocking session in which cinematographer Helena Hutchins was tragically killed. The police screwed up so bad that when they took Alec to trial, the judge threw the case out. And in the end, in her own blaze of glory, thank you, Bon Jovi, Kari Morrissey put herself on the witness stand to tell the world she too was a victim, and it blew up all over the place. So now you ask, how are these dim-witted ex-pageant queen Raquel and smart yet volatile Kari similar, and why does anybody care? Well, those two missed the memo on the fact that because it's your truth does not mean the public has to agree, and so they both won't stop. And all they are doing is ruining any chances of that lovely redemption arc that could have been given to them. Look, we all have issues. We've all been treated badly. We have all been in situations where, from our perspective, the truth is immaterial when a narrative has been made. In these cases, what you do is keep your head down, grit your teeth, and stop talking about it. So our friend Kari should be licking her wounds. But is she? Oh, heck no. Just like one of those westerns where you have to get justice, Kari filed a scathing, sarcastic, in some ways incredulously eye-opening filing to the court where she literally, 1, said the paralegal she fired was incompetent, 2, put in plea negotiations that should have been confidential, 3, minimized the egregious errors done by law enforcement and herself, 4, mocked the defense attorneys, but then it gets even worse. She says in this brief that the judge made the wrong decision. This, folks, is not just burning a bridge. It's like burning it and you're in the middle of the bridge and you have no escape. She is so full of rage that her truth was not agreed to. She literally is taking her career and throwing it in the toilet. And I'm not sure it can ever be saved. And sadly, at this point, I don't think she even cares. She should, because in a few months, when she cools down, hopefully, she's going to realize that her temper has cooled, but the documents are forever. And anytime she decides to go for a job and they do a Google search, who is going to hire her? No police department is going to want to work with her. Maybe she can start a defense firm, but how many judges are going to want to work with someone who literally in their filing said that they made the wrong choice? I am sure she is independently wealthy because the latest filings where she had to get permission to go over the normal allowed number of pages, she literally threw a temper tantrum that's going to follow for her forever. So yes, let's hope that she's a trust fund baby. She spilled all the tea, and understand this. I am all for it. I mean, this was better than a 4-part Real Housewife reunion. And while it's giving great content, she's ruining her career. Rachel probably has a better chance, but she's still tilting windmills. Even if she gets to a jury trial, who is really going to award this ex-pageant queen who dated her way onto a reality show any money after she cheated with a guy while his girlfriend was at her grandmother's funeral? Oh yeah, that's the first time they had sex. In her quest to have all of her wrongs righted, all she is doing is making people look at her side-eye. And what is Ariana doing? She's saying nothing. She listened to good advice. This, folks, is what you do, and I don't understand. And yes, I am also a hothead, but you say nothing. You get good advice from reputable people like attorneys or counselors, and you shut your mouth. You do not react. And guys, sometimes it is so hard. Sometimes I have wanted to go over on LinkedIn and drop a little truth bomb and watch things explode, but I don't. And you know why? Because at some point, you're going to regret it. And that 15 seconds of joy will be wiped out by the fact that that post will follow you forever. Now, that doesn't mean if you are wrong, you should not fight back. No, it means you should do it smart and let the facts come out. Rachel should have taken a year and let things settle. She could have gotten a book deal talking about her mental health journey and getting toxic men out of her life, and even done a podcast similar to a Rachel Yucatel of Tiger Woods fame. People would have eaten it up. People love a great redemption arc. But no, instead, she goes on and on and on and on about how awful reality TV is. Well, you took the check, like 360,000 last year, and also how mean people are. And then you sue the person you cheated on. You helped cheat on. I mean, I guess there are a handful of people who'd be interested in her. I mean, maybe that Ashley Madison website, if it still exists. I mean, maybe an OnlyFans. But she has alienated the exact group of people that would have given her a second chance. Just like Kari Morrissey, then they have literally nailed doors shut that could have been opened for them if they had just taken a breath and kept their mouths shut. So the answer is yes. You can get so busy trying to prove you're a victim of being misunderstood that by the time you are done, the only truth people know is they never want to hear your name again. In a world of Rachels and Karis, be an Ariana, and that is the truth.